Welcome to Online Math 111. My name is Brian. I'm the one teaching this class. In this video, we'll kind of walk you through a few key features of this course and hopefully answer some questions, getting you all signed up and ready to go. So as I mentioned, my name is Brian. I didn't know where to start this thing. I figured I could start with the picture of me. Somewhere on here. Here I am. That's me. That's me a couple years ago anyways. Um, I went to school down in Santa Barbara, as this said, and then grad school up in Oregon, so I'm a big Ducks fan. Big football fan. I'm actually watching a football game right now as I make this video, some playoff football. So that's pretty exciting. But that's probably not stuff you're too interested in, or maybe it is. What do I know? So what I'm doing with this video is I will, let's say I just sent you an email, and it should look something like this. Math 111 online, have a little bit of information, and then a bunch of different documents here. And basically what happens is with this class, it's just overwhelming trying to learn everything online and get everything straight. And especially in this first week, there's so much to do. So I thought a video walking you through all the steps might be helpful. So if you read this email, which when you get down here to this third sentence, I guess, or paragraph, says try to make things as simple as possible. I created a video. Here's the link. You clicked this link, and that got us to this video. So I think the easiest way to get started is the first of these attachments. We'll say week 1 checklist. It's kind of a big listing of all the different things you'll need to get set up in this class. So I'll start with that. If you open that up, you'll see something that looks sort of like this. And there you go, a bunch of bullet points on what you got to do. So the first thing, it says go to this website. This is the website for My Math Lab, even though it doesn't say My Math Lab. I'm going to get registered. What you need to register is this course ID, basically. It might ask you for the zip code. I'm not sure. I put that in there just in case. This is what you'll need, course ID. In fact, I'm going to copy and paste this right now, or copy it anyway so I can have it later. Click on this link. Something like this pops up. Later on, you'll be able to just sign in, but since this is presumably your first time, you'll want to register, get all set up. You're a student, so you'll click Student. Get here. It says, wait, hold on. You need these 3 things. You need an email address. Cool, yeah, I got that. You need a course ID. That's this thing I was just showing you here, this Stone Lake 07453. And then a credit card or an access code. So you got to pay for this thing, unfortunately. You can either pay for it at our bookstore, it's like 95 bucks or so, or you can buy it directly online. You don't have to go to the bookstore at all. So if you've already bought it, great. If not, make sure you got a credit card handy. Okay, let's continue. Now it asks you for those things. First thing it wants is the course ID. That was that Stone Lake 07453. Click continue. And then it says sign in or create an account. Right? So if you've already have an account, maybe from another class or something, you can do your username and password. If not, create an account. Relatively straightforward. Create your username and password. It has our course listed over here. So I already have an account, Brian Stone Lake, and I'll put my password in here and sign in. And then what it'll say is, all right, now you got to pay. So either you've already paid and you click here, you went to the bookstore and you'll put in the little code you got from our bookstore, or you'll buy this thing for $93.50, which is pretty expensive if you ask me. And then that'll get you all set up. So I'm not going to buy it because I don't have to, because I'm teaching this thing. But after you do that, it'll take you to something that looks more or less like this. You'll get all registered and it'll bring up a bunch of classes. You won't have 100 classes over here like I do, because you're not teaching a bunch of classes. But you'll have one that says Math 111 Winter 2014, maybe some others from other classes you have. And you click on that, and that'll bring you to the main page where we'll be doing almost everything for this course. So really getting here, a huge step, that's what I was talking about here, to get registered. Log into this website, that's exactly what we got here. This is this website. Run the browser check, okay, fine. If you run this thing, it'll just make sure that you have the updated versions of all the plugins, blah, blah, blah. I won't bother with that. I'm sure you can figure it out. Buy a calculator. Yeah, you got to get a calculator for this class. I wouldn't buy a new one. They're pretty expensive. They rent them in our bookstore. Honestly, I wouldn't do that either. They're a little bit pricey if you get them from the bookstore, I believe. What I would do is I'd look online, see if you have a roommate or somebody who has one. So many people need them at SOU that there's probably a bunch floating around. You can get one either used from somebody or even borrow a friend's, save yourself some money. But at some point, relatively early, you'll want to get that all figured out. And then the next thing I list is I want you to fill out this online help session survey. So there's not that much I can do to help you in this class. I mean, it's an online class. I'll do everything I can. But one of the easiest ways I can help you is every week I'm going to have this online help session. You can come to it. There'll be a link for it. You'll click on there, and it'll be kind of like a Skype type thing. You can ask me questions. I'll work out problems, review sessions, answer homework stuff, practice for quizzes, whatever you need. And if you can be there, that's great. You can ask questions during this thing. And if not, that's fine too. They'll all be recorded so you can watch them after the fact. But I thought people might want to be there, so I wanted to choose the times that were most convenient for people. So that's this survey that I'm talking about in this bullet point. The way you find that survey is when you get onto this website. This is your course home. It lists all sorts of stuff. Get familiar with it when you got a chance. Like you can see some upcoming homework we have, kind of a calendar type thing, some sort of scores over here. If you go to start here, I figured that was a good thing to do. I'll list our intro movie, which is what you're watching right now. And then the second thing here is the online review session survey. Click on survey here. Bam. Tell me what times work for you. So these are kind of the options. Figured late in the week is good because that way you can already try the homework, and then if you get stuck with stuff, you can ask me questions. But not weekend, because all our homework, everything for the week is due Sunday night. So if we can get it done by like Friday or Thursday, then you'll have time to finish stuff up. Click the boxes that work for you, click done, then you're done with that. It shouldn't take you more than 30 seconds. But it'll help me get feedback and pick the best time possible. Anyways, back over here to our homepage. That was the online review session that we just talked about. A little bit further down are our course documents. So this is everything that was listed in that email that you were reading. I put them again here just so you have them as reference. The week 1 checklist is what we have over here. Course syllabus is just like it sounds like. It's a syllabus. Tentative schedule of when things are due. Help getting registered on My Math Lab. So if this video isn't enough help, check out this. I mean, you won't be able to get it from here, but it's in the email. Look at this and it'll help you out. And then some info on proctoring exams. So what else do you need to know? Well, I guess we've talked about the online help session survey. The next thing that you need to do this week is to email. So the big exams, the midterm and the final, they all need to be proctored. So you need to email me. Let me know where you're taking these exams. It's important that this happens early because I have to reach out to these people. I have to get everything all set up. It takes a while. So I really want to get all this done in the first week. You can do these with me if you want. So I'm listing some times that I'm available, and then you're done. Just tell me, email me, hey, I'm taking them with you. Done. You don't have to do anything else. But if that doesn't work for you, either location or time-wise, then you could take it at a lot of different places. There's some info on these proctoring exams if I go back to this original email, one of these things says proctored exams. And if you open that, it'll give you all sorts of information about this. Other places you can take proctored exams, what you need to give me, probably more info than you need, the dates, stuff like that. Another good option is the Higher Education Center in Medford, kind of at the RCC campus. That can, I think that's free, and you can take them there too if you want. Some people in the past have taken them with their advisors on campus at SOU. Anyways, you got lots of options. The key thing is you have to let me know where you're doing them so I know where the test will be. And then the last thing I list on this week 1 checklist is to do the week 1 assignments. So if we go back over here to our schedule, there's the syllabus, here's the tentative schedule, and open this guy up. What you'll see is here's everything we're doing this quarter. In week 1, there's kind of 4 sections to talk about. So there's 4 little homework assignments. They're listed under modules. And then there's 1 quiz. And you got to do all this stuff by 11, I think it's 59 I made it, p.m. on Sunday. So make sure you get it all done by Sunday night, then you're good. And this is what we're doing in week 2, week 3, and so forth. So for the first week, you got to do all this stuff. This introduction thing is super easy. I was going to make it optional, but it's so easy that it might be nice to, start out with 100% on your first homework assignment. So I made it something you have to do. It'll take you 10, 15 minutes. It'll just get you comfortable with this website where we're doing all the homework. The way you get to those is under these learning modules here. So if you click chapter R, the first thing listed at R.1, then it kind of gives you these options. The way you'll want to go about these is really doing 1 and 4. So 1, read and interact. This is kind of what you're paying for, where your $95 is going. It brings up this e-text. Takes a little while to open. So it's kind of like a textbook, except it's got a lot of interactive features. There's videos, there's practice problems, all sorts of things that can help you. So that's the first thing you'll want to do is read through these. You'll see lots of little links. You can change the page. You'll get the hang of it. It's basically an electronic textbook. So that's 1 here. 2 is reading assessment. I thought this was just overkill. I don't think you need to do these, so I deleted them. You don't get any credit for 2, ignore 2. It's just asking you questions about what you read, but really that's what homework is, so why do it twice, right? I'm not trying to give you more work than you need. So I got rid of 2. You don't have to do 2 at all. 3 says practice exercises. Again, this is totally optional. You won't be graded on this at all. So I kind of feel like the homework is practice exercises. The homework counts as your grade. I suppose if you want some practice before you try the homework, go ahead and do 3. But you don't have to do this. That will not be graded. What will be graded is number 4, assigned homework. If you click assigned homework, it'll bring up all the homework for this section. This, as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4 of them are due on the 12th. That's Sunday of week 1. So those are the 4 you'll want to get all done. For some reason, it lists the Chapter 3 homework under Chapter R. I'll get that fixed at some point, but those aren't due till the middle of February, so don't worry about those. These first 3 here are what you'll want to get due in the first week, and that's the last thing on that checklist. So there's the tentative schedule. We talked about that. There's the checklist. I think we've gotten through all of these things now. If we go back to that original email checklist we talked about, syllabus, sure, I'll talk about that in a second. Tentative schedule, that's what we were just looking at. Proctored exams, we touched on that already. And then my math lab registration. I don't know that you really need this thing. It's probably a bit of overkill, but I put it in there just so you have help. If you have any trouble going through those registration steps that I already outlined, here it is, more detailed. Maybe this makes it easier. Maybe it's overkill. It's there in case you need it. Last thing is the syllabus. Talk about the syllabus, then I'll end this video. So the syllabus, basically, that's me. I'm your instructor. This is the class we're taking. Here's where my office is. My office hours, I haven't figured them out yet. I'm going to give my students in my face-to-face classes a survey similar to your survey and let them choose times that are most convenient for them. And the online review sessions, those are also to be announced. When I get the results of your guys' survey, I'll change this and we'll have a date on there. And there's my email, probably the best way to reach me. I'll go through the rest of this stuff in just a minute. I want to pause my video. I got a 2-year-old kid and he just walked into the room, so I got to see what he needs. He just wanted to watch some football with his old man. So anyways, we're going through the syllabus. I think we were down here somewhere. Really the first important thing you need. Okay, so here's some information about me. Here's the website we've been looking at where all our online stuff is. And here's how you register. This is the book we're using. Oh yeah, you need a calculator. Course structure, yeah, whatever. The first thing that's really important is when we get down here talking about grading. I mean, obviously that's important, right? This is how your grade is going to be based. So homework 15%, quizzes 15%, each of your midterms are 20%, and your finals 30%. So I try to spread your grade out over a lot of different things. The good news is that homework and quizzes, I mean, yeah, they're only worth, combined 30%. But you can get pretty good grades on those. The basic idea, you're going to be doing the homework online, right? That's through this website. You'll click something like, oh, let's do this first homework assignment. And then this will pop up and you'll work on the first question. The nice thing about the homework is if you're willing to keep trying it, you can get pretty good grades on these things. So even if you get something wrong, like if you answer a problem and get it incorrect, I guess I shouldn't have done the orientation one. So type the number 1 in the following box. I'll type in 2 and get it wrong. It says, sorry, that's not correct. But that's okay. It lets you try it again. It lets you redo stuff. Sometimes it'll say try a similar example. And if you get the similar example right, it'll mark the original one as correct. There's all these aids over here. I mean, they'll pop up on certain problems like help me solve this, watch an example. Like there's lots of little things you can do to get help with the homework. You don't have to get everything right the first time. You can go back and fix it. There's really a lot of leniency built into the homework. So your homework grade, there's really no reason why it can't be pretty high. Let me get back to where I was. One other thing, really what happens to people, the reason homework grades aren't high is because people forget to do them or they get behind, right? And so to account for that, I wanted to let you do late work, but I didn't just want to let late work always be accepted because then everyone's going to do stuff late and you'll fall behind and you won't do as well in the quizzes and the midterms, blah, blah, blah. So I think it's in your best interest to do the homework on time. But if you don't do one on time or if you don't finish one on time, you can work on them late. And the way I got it set up is that anything you do after the due date, you only get half credit for. So like if you've done 60% of an assignment on time, that's great. You get that 60%. But for the remaining 40%, you can do it late, but you can only get half the points for that remaining 40%. So you get 80% total on that example. So that's the homework. Similarly with the quizzes, there's kind of some built-in things to help you. Same thing, the reason people do poorly sometimes is they fall behind. If you stay up with them, they're not too bad. It can be a little bit tricky taking a quiz online. You know what I mean? Sometimes you'll think you have the right answer and the way it wants it entered will be a little bit different, or, it can be a little bit picky online. To try to make up for that, I let you take each quiz 3 times. And then what I do is I take the highest of those 3 grades, and that's your grade for that quiz. So that'll help a little bit. It never hurts to retake quizzes. Retake them, the 3 times anytime you want to. They won't always be the exact same. It like randomly generates the questions, so you'll see different looking questions, but it'll cover the same material. So that will help your quiz grade a lot. One other thing I have built in to help your quiz grade is at the end of the quarter, I have all your quiz grades, the highest of the 3 attempts for each quiz. I then go through and drop the lowest of all of those. So you can skip one quiz or do poorly on one. That's fine. It won't hurt you at all. And the reason I do that is you can't take the quizzes late. You got to do the quizzes on time. So in case you missed one, there's that built-in leniency. There's the midterms. We'll talk more about those when they get close. I'll send you practice midterms before they're due or before the test themselves. We'll review for them. I'll try to help you as much as I can on those things. Midterms will have to be proctored. Same with the final exam. And then I'll calculate your grade this way. I think that's the most important thing on here. The only other thing, I've already mentioned it, these online review sessions. I'll send you links to those. We'll probably have the first one will be during week 2. So there won't be one for this first week of class because for this first week, we'll still be deciding when they are. You'll be filling out that survey and letting me know when you want them. But it'll basically just be Skyping with me, with all of us in a little chat room, or everyone who can make it. And I'll answer questions for people. If you can't make it, that's fine. I'll post the link to the recorded version. You can watch that at your convenience. This talks a little bit more about what we go over. R stands for review, kind of the first chapter we're talking about. Technically should be review. It may or may not be for you. Prerequisites, how you got into this class. A little note that 111, it's a small number, but it's a hard class. So make sure this is the class you're supposed to be in. This is pre-calculus. For most people, you're taking this because you want to take calculus. For your major, you need Math 251, which is calculus. If that's not you, this might not be the best class for you. 243, for example, higher number than 111 is an easier class than 111. This is statistics. 105 is another option that will work for some people. So anyways, if you're not taking calculus, double check. Make sure you want to be in 111. If you have any questions, let me know. Late work, we already touched on that. Honesty, don't cheat. It's a big deal. Disability, if you have any learning differences or disabilities, you can get help on campus. Contact disability resources, some info on that. And then there's one of those things that I'm supposed to copy and paste and put at the end of the syllabus. I probably shouldn't say it like that because it's important. I can't discriminate for any reason. Not that I would, but that's on the syllabus. So there you go. That's everything on the syllabus. That should be enough to kind of get you started. My advice is to kind of just start poking around. Get comfortable with this website. There's a lot of things over here. The start here, we kind of talked about course documents, online. We talked about all these things. Here's the home. But there's a lot more stuff down here. Quizzes and tests, self-explanatory. That's where you go to take your quizzes. Gradebook, that'll let you know how you're doing in the class. It'll calculate all your grades for you, do all the little calculations. Not a whole lot there right now. Oh, look, it says I started one homework. That's because I just clicked on it. But you can get little bar graphs and stuff like that telling you how you're doing it. Calendar, yeah, same idea. I sent you a schedule of everything we have. There's also an electronic schedule calendar. Not all that much in there. Just says homework's due on Sunday nights. Read eText. So from the learning modules, let's go to a different one. Say later on in the course when we get to 2.3 or whatever. If you click this read and interact, it brings up the text automatically. It brings you to section 2.3. If for whatever reason you didn't want to go through things this way, you can get at it this way also. You can go straight to the eText, then you just got to tell it what section you want to look at. The rest of these things, I don't know that we'll really use them. Discussions, yeah, I don't know. More stuff you can click, play with if you want to, not anything you'll need. The only things you will be graded on in here are the homework, which is number 4 in these learning modules, and the quizzes. It's important that you do all these things on time, and probably the easiest way to make sure you do things on time is look at the gradebook, although they're also listed under the course home. I think that's everything that you'll need for now. If you need any help from me, please feel free to email me. Don't fall behind in this class. And I'm not saying that to try to tell you your business, but that's why people struggle in this class and they fall behind, inevitably. In my experience, people do pretty well in this class if they can keep up with everything. but it's hard to keep up with everything. There's a lot of material and it goes quick, and I recognize you got a lot of other stuff going on. You're probably taking other classes, maybe you're working, you got other stuff in your life. So it makes it really easy to fall behind. So trust me, if you fall behind, that's where you'll struggle in this class. But if you can keep up to date and allow me to help you whenever I can, hopefully you'll do all right. So if you have any feedback for me or any questions or comments, email me. You can email me anytime. My email, I'm sure you can find it online, but it's this. Oh, it's not that. Let me try that again. I think it would just populate stonelegb@SOU. There it is. So it's the first, I think, 8 letters of my last name, Stonelack, and then B for Brian @SOU.edu. I'm sure you can find it online somewhere. That's my email. If you email me, I'm pretty good at getting back to people, and I'll try to help you however I can. So that's the end of this video. Good luck with the class, and let me know what you need from me.